Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reviewing The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Hen. I'll be reviewing the book The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Hen. The novel explores romance drama, coming of age story, builder's romance. I want the reader to see the growth of Belly and the love triangle between the two brothers Jeremiah and Conrad. This book is part of a series and can be read on its own or part of a series. As we go deeper into the novel, we start to understand that the novel deals with past, informs the present, and creating one's own definition of womanhood. Warnings. In this book deals with cancer, cheating, homophobic slurs, sexual assaults, and non-consensual kissing. When reading the blurb, we understand that it measures her life in summers and everything good, everything magical happens when she heads to the beach house. It's got a summer pool, a private beach, and Jeremiah and Conrad is there also. Belly has known the boy since her very first summer, since childhood. There'll be her brother's figures and her crushes and everything in between. And everything that happened in the past summer and every summer before it has led up to this now. It's going to be an amazing summer, and one of them we'll never forget. This was an important thing about the book. It made me reminisce about my teenage years and what it's like to be a teenager dealing with love and hot summers. Important quotations. Appearance of the two brothers. Conrad was the older one by the year and a half. He was dark, completely untameable and unavailable. He had a smirk kind of mouth, and I always found myself staring at it. Smirky mouths make you want to kiss them, just move them out and kiss the smirkiness away. It was exactly what I wanted to do with Conrad, to make him mine. Page 5. When reading this quotation, you understand Belly's attractiveness towards Conrad and her feelings for him, but his physical appearance and why Belly wants to make Conrad hers mine. As Jeremiah got older, through his hair was less and less curly and more wavy. I missed the curls. He used to look like one with his rosy cheeks and yellow curls. Page 7. It's described that his curls become more wavy as he get older, but the physical appearance between the two brothers also shows her attractiveness and how she's drawn to them. But you have to remember that Belly is Jeremiah's best friend, but then Conrad suddenly comes into the picture, and then Belly becomes drawn to Conrad. Belly's prettiness is described throughout the summer, and it's the main theme of the novel, which is explored. Hence the title, The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is based on her womanhood and her changing and growing into a woman, which is seen in the quotation, for example. Belly, you look fresh as a daisy. I love you in white with your tan. It sets you off like a picture frame, which contrasts to, I knew what I looked like back then. I wasn't the prettiest girl anybody had ever seen, not with my thick glasses and chubby cheeks and little girl body. Page 158. This shows that back then she wasn't as attractive and most appealing as before, but people start to notice her beauty as she turns 16, and this surprises her and makes her blushes, and even the two brothers notice her beauty throughout the novel. Belly's opinion of the boys. The truth was, I liked both of them in different ways, and I didn't want her to know, because whichever guy she picked would feel like left over, and it wasn't like it would sway Taylor. She was going for Conrad either way. I wanted to tell her anyone but Conrad, but it wouldn't be true, not completely. I would be jealous if she picked Jeremiah too, because he was my friend and not hers. Page 73. It shows that in this quotation that she's kind of a bit scared that Taylor would go for Conrad, but she wanted to make Jeremiah hers. And this is in the beginning of the novel before she meets Conrad. So you can sense there's a rivalry between the two friendships. They want to pick either of them. Belly's relationship with Conrad in childhood flashback. He didn't let go of my hand. This is how you dance, he said, shuffling his feet from side to side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rock step. Conrad teaches Belly how to dance old-fashionedly. Page 193. This shows that in their childhood, childhood and description, it shows that he's teaching her how to dance, and this is a sweet description of their childhood and their friendship growing in the summer. And this is the reason why, partly why Belly has feelings for Conrad, because he's there to support her no matter what. He loves her unconditionally no matter what, and he's always supportive of her. And in particular, when they have the first kiss, it's described as, I cut the back of his head, moved it towards me, and I kissed him. Page 262. The way she cups his cheek shows that she's in love with him, and his love for him is unattainable, and she's glad to have Conrad as hers and hers only. And the kiss is very intense, and when you read it, you feel the tension between both of them. Belly's relationship with Jeremiah. Jeremiah's lips had touched my lips. My lips were no longer my own. they'd been touched by Jeremiah. I had finally been kissed, and it was my friend Jeremiah. This shows that at first Belly was friends with Jeremiah, but then suddenly she starts to develop feelings for Jeremiah, and her love for him starts to grow and starts to progress. But then when Conrad comes into picture, suddenly Belly switches ahead and she joins to Conrad. So the two brothers technically don't fight over her as you expected in the love triangle, because there's two brothers, but both of them, they do fight over the fact that the one thing that you have to remember in the novel, and it happens in the middle of the novel, is that there's a fight that happens because basically Conrad tries to hurt Belly, but Jeremiah sees what happens and Belly's mother had to tell him to stop, and it causes the two brothers to fight over her because Conrad was starting to act very violently. And it just shows that Jeremiah is willing to protect Belly, as well as Conrad is willing to protect Belly as well. But also shows the other side to Conrad. It shows his side of him, which can be quite aggressive, but it also shows Jeremiah's very protective side of Belly, and her side telling her that he's always going to be there for her and you're always going to support her no matter what. And I think that's a significant bit of the novel, which is climatic, because you see the true nature of both of them, and you see that suddenly as a reader that you're like, oh whoa, what's going to happen now? What Conrad is going to do? He's going to punch her. He's going to kiss her. He's going to punch her. He's going to kiss her. Will Jeremiah kiss her? Will Jeremiah fight Conrad? And it turns out he does fight Conrad, and then suddenly his mum comes into the picture and stops the boys from fighting. But the main themes that you have to remember that doors in the novel is the past informs the present. The chapters of the novel alternate between the current and the previous summer, highlighting how the past shapes the present. For example, in chapter 10, Laurel urges Belly to contact her father. This leads to a flashback as Belly remembers her parents' divorce and the impact of her father moving out of their home. In chapter 13, Laurel wonders if Conrad may be doing drugs. In the next chapter, this discovers mothers have been smoking marijuana. Womanhood. Throughout the novel, Belly tries to create her own definition of womanhood. When she was younger, being a girl meant Belly being left out of the boys' adventure. The summer that Belly turned 16, being the girl and physically maturing and going into the boys' interests and people showing her their attention, had always been the boys, include her, reading their attention. Suddenly, because of her looks, more Belly feels as though her value is dependent on her parents. Her parents become dependent. Everyone's noticing her parents more than her personality. The motifs in the novel is the female friendship. The female friendship between Belly and Taylor is youthful, and friendship with Laura and Susan is an enduring bond. Both of them show that there's a rivalry between both of them, but as both of them fight over boys and men. Summer months. Early in the novel, Belly explores the fall, winter and spring and feel like the holiday pattern as she waits for June and her return to the Fisher's house on Cousins Beach. Summer evokes magic and comfort that can't find anywhere else, and what makes her summer is Conrad for her, especially in the beach scene when he sits down and he speaks to her about something very personal to her, and that evokes the meaning of like summer for her. Conrad made her summer for her mainly, and that's what sticks out in the novel for me. And I would like for you guys to share your opinions and your views of the novel and what you think of the characters, because personally for me, when reading the novel, the one thing that I learnt is being careful of not getting your heart broken. Sometimes it's good to wait instead of rushing into a relationship because you feel like you've been pressured to be like everyone else. But you have to remember to be yourself, and being yourself and finding your true womanhood is an important part of growth. The stories about young love through the trials and tribulations, and this is important as a teenager to understand. No matter what happens, you may go through trials and tribulations, but it's dependent on the relationship and will the relationship will either last. And through those trials and tribulations, you become stronger. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed the book review. Bye!